commencing Operation Rack. I know what you're thinking. Isn't this supposed to be a woodworking video? And why is this guy geared up like this? This is a surprise $23 coat rack for my parents.
Joshua! Why do you have leaves on your back?
General, going dark. All right, fun's over. I oftentimes will go down to mom and dad's on my days off just to spend a little bit of time, and they'll cook breakfast, right? We call it Ren's Diner. And oftentimes I'll be kind of sitting there and I'll just be looking around, right? Seeing what needs to be done. And so with that, one of the days I was looking around, and we just got done here in Redding, California, having kind of a really wet season. So what I noticed is that they don't have a coat rack. So today, there's a couple things that we're going to be doing. We're going to be building a coat rack, but I have a couple rules. One, it's got to be simple, very, very simple. Two, I want it to match the rustic style of the light that we did inside of the studio, right? And then third thing to make it general compliant is it has to have a secret function. So let me go ahead and show you what we're going to use for that build. So for me, I'm going to be using a piece of pine, and for you, I would encourage you to go down to the store and just get an 11.5. This is basically 11.25 inches by 8 feet. And one of the pro tips that I want to encourage you to do is a board like this oftentimes will be damaged and in the 70% off. So even though a brand new one costs $19.68, you can oftentimes get them for 70% off, and that's $5.99. So I would never go to the box stores without checking those bins. Also, I got just a basic coat hangers, which are $11.27 for a 3-pack, and then we're going to be using some pre-stain as well as some gel stain, which you can see there, very low cost when you look at it. Yeah, the total cost is 20 bucks for a can, but you're going to get so many different uses out of that. And in the way of tools, we're going to be utilizing just a 4-inch angle grinder with a wire brush. And if you were, meaning you don't have a table saw and some of the bigger tools, as long as you have a jigsaw and or a circular saw, you're going to be just fine with this project. And honestly, if you are brand new and a little bit nervous, this is a fantastic project to build confidence because it is going to be so easy. I'm excited to show you how to do it. So part of the idea with this particular build is, one, I want to save you some money. So when we did that light fixture, they were charging an exorbitant amount of money that we built for a fraction of the cost. And the same is true with this particular build. So I've seen these on Etsy being sold for anywhere between, kind of $100 to $200 and some dollars. We're going to build it for roughly $23. That's right. Everything, when you look at it, I've broken it down per screw, per se, if you will. It's just to give you kind of a rough estimate. $23. That's it. So let's get on with this build and let's save you some money.
Thought it'd be golden, crossing the line and don't look back. Think I was broken, I needed some time to clear my...
So at this part, I've got my 3 pieces that really make up the whole entirety of it. Now, what I am choosing to do is I'm going to go roughly 4 inches down from the top.
But I think that I found my way.
And basically here, I'm just creating a reference line for this board once I'm getting ready to put that on, okay? So that'll keep that nice and straight. I am going to drill out and again, none of these holes will actually be shown. So if these were spacing wise, if you're worried about that, don't be. So let me grab some glue. And then this is where that reference line comes in real handy. All right, with the clamps on, I can now flip it over. So you can already start to see the shelf that's taking place. Obviously, we'll be sanding this, but I want to get all of this on. But now we get to have a lot of the fun. So now we're gonna give it the character. We're gonna go and we're gonna use that wire wheel and get this thing totally done up. The thing I wanna state here is that if you don't have an angle grinder with a wire wheel like this, you could do a handheld. And obviously you're gonna be taking and trying to grind down the grooves between the peaks of the grain. Because I wanna match the depth of my other one, I am gonna be utilizing this, but keep in mind you could just have a standard handheld brush. It's just gonna take a lot more elbow grease, okay? Now, I want you to pay attention to a lot of the character in the wood right now, okay? You can see that I've done some intentional scarring, if you will. And the reason why I want to show you this is pay attention to now versus after the stain. It's phenomenal. Now, I'm not gonna just end it there. I am gonna add some additional ones. Take your screws. This is a lag. And I like, I think that's a really pretty cool look. All right, so I want to show you a couple of things now that it's actually done. I want you to be able to take a look at it again. You can see the screws that I originally said I was going to take out. I actually think I'm going to leave those because I like the look. Now, look at right here, all those threads that got filled deeper red. And again, the head of the lag screw, doesn't that look amazing? I mean, look at the depth of that. All of a sudden you take a board that was bought for $5.99 on the discount bin and you put so much character into it. And then of course you add these little black at the bottom here. That is going to look absolutely amazing. So I'll come back after letting it sit for a little bit and we'll finish it up. So when I consider all the different options that I have as far as finishing it, I want you to keep in mind that if you're in a bind in time and you need to do stain only, you absolutely can do that. But my advice would be only if it's for light use. And traditionally you can start using it after 24 hours. And this is gonna be your fastest option. But keep in mind, if you do that, it is still gonna be susceptible to oil, dirt, moisture, things of that nature. Now, for me to find a healthy balance in the middle, I would go with like a water-based spray. You could do like the spray on one, especially if it's a smaller project like this. And that's gonna give you lower odor than like the oil-based. It'll give you kind of same-day install if you need be. Now, if you need something that's more durable, then you're gonna wanna consider looking at the oil-based clear coat. Now that's gonna go on heavier and it's gonna give you more of an odor, right? So it is the toughest finish out of all of those. But again, it's got longer dry time and everything. Now, for me, I'm gonna add a clear coat to this, which we'll do kind of off screen, but I wanted to kind of show you this to let you know that you do have a few options that are available to you. Now here's the part that I really wanted to solve. My parents have been borrowing my Milwaukee neck light. If you haven't seen one, if you don't know what they are, trust me, they're awesome. It's got dual articulating heads, and guess what? Mom and Dad, I want it back. So instead of building something complicated, I just wanted to give them their own flashlight. Now, I'm not chimping. This is a Surefire. This is an ED1 backup. This thing will blind out ravenous Sasquatch if you shine it in their eyes. But this project just makes sense. One, I didn't want to make any compartments, no hidden hinges, only one real extra part, and that's that magnetic clip. Now, if it's not being used, it's completely out of sight on the underbelly of the shelf, but it is right where it needs to be. And that's really what this project is about, noticing how space gets used and making small changes that actually improve it as well as your skill set, and you get a functional coat rack out of it. Win-win.